plant, every tendril, no, even every leaf could be the embodiment of Circe's.
As a result, mere mortals who did not know what the Titan actually looked like chose to paint them as a giant tree instead. Their wisdom was portrayed as fruit, to symbolize how they shared their knowledge equally among the masses. Such exquisiteness indeed.
Nice.
This mural is quite abstract.
Well, I mean, they don't know what she looks like, right? So, like, what are they gonna do about
I really
it?
can't tell whether you are praising or demeaning yourself. Now I'm quite curious whether the Reason Titan has studied figures of speech before.
Of course I find such stylistic devices interesting.
Mm-hmm.
For all we know, this could be the answer to the question, what exactly are we?
I, for one, am not willing to admit that I could look this ugly.
Was this the reason why you failed in your attempt to refine my soul when you were ambushed at the Grove?
Since you are aware of this, why did you save me back then?
From my perspective, this point alone was enough to separate you from the average person.
How do two lunatics coexist in the same brain?
Therefore, it seems that your journey to Dawn-Cloud this time is not just to seek protection. What, then, is the intention behind your actions?
The entire plan is stored in my memory, so why don't you look there?
Then don't mind if I do.
Dang.
1 year old? 2 years old? Oh my! Even a member of the preeminent Seven Sages must hug his Dromastal to sleep?
That's enough.
How unusual. Your soul is actually trembling. This must mean that behind this toy hides a secret that nobody knows, right?
Since our days are both numbered, I don't mind telling you more about it. This is a present that my sister gave to me. It's a doll that was made to look like our family pet.
So there are other members in your family, eh? Are they also living in alchemy?
I probably lost them all.
Don't you just love to pick through my brain? Go on, continue flipping through my memories. It won't take long. You'll discover the answer when you reach the memories of when I was 5.
Oh, the black tide is everywhere. I can't bear to look.
When I was young, I couldn't accept this outcome either. Giorios, Aquila, Kefali, and you, of course. Although I prayed to every titan that I could think of for help, my efforts were ultimately futile.
This...
Yeah.
Could this be the inception of your research into alchemy?
Indeed it was. Everything started from that verdant courtyard of yours. When I was pursuing my education there, I naturally also came to learn of the Lysis' theory as well.
Oh, I remember that person. He was the one to come up with the concept of souls, right?
Not only that, he also believed that life, as well as the composition, movement, and transformation of matter, all stem from souls themselves. This is why I thought that, since all living things stem from the same origin, why could I not sacrifice myself in order to resurrect my nearest and dearest?
Anaxa, you...
I did it, teacher!
But this is absolute blasphemy. Regardless of how much freedom the Grove provides, such an act could cause you to be burned at the pyre.
This guy. I believe Anaxa was first, according to this. Welcome in.
Your beloved, where is she now? send her away from the grove at once, to a place where nobody will ever be able to find her. Otherwise, the both of us will be judged by the Council of the Seven Sages.
Calm down, teacher. My sister, she's still not in the mortal realm. Even to this day.
What do you mean?
It was naive of me to think that I could snatch the deceased from Thanatos' grip by merely sacrificing one eye.
Oh.
Equivalent exchange.
Die.
All I received for that price was but an opportunity to see
Man.
her for one.
Man! Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. I hated him, but now I'm starting to like him.
Let it go, Anaxa. As one of my best students,
Full Metal Alchemist.
I cannot watch you go down the wrong path without doing anything to stop it. Never do something taboo ever again. Don't disappoint the deceased, and never harm yourself. If you can do that, this classroom will still be yours, and you'll have a chance to live out your own life.
Since I was able to see her one last time, I have no other desires. You're right, teacher. It's time for me to start a new life.
I am sincerely glad for you, child.
He's gonna pick a topic
What
he's not
would you
supposed
like
to.
to study?
I wish to continue Theseus' research.
See.
Continue the research into souls, but you know that the Grove has long since understood his philosophy like the back of their hands. Even if you continue digging into this subject, your efforts will likely be futile.
No, teacher. After my fleeting glimpse of the deathly fog, I finally understood a single truth. Since ancient days, our understanding of the souls is but the tip of the iceberg. I may have lost an eye, but my view of the world has become clearer than ever. I have grasped the truth with my bare hands. Watch as I turn this farcical world upside down.
Who would have thought such a secret lay concealed beneath that hefty eye patch of yours? However, this story doesn't seem to be connected to your plan. In fact, I'd say that they aren't related at all.
I don't know if I'd be willing to sacrifice my eye to get the last piece of Xenosaga Lost Media. Is that what you're suggesting? Are you saying I should also sacrifice an eye so that I could obtain this piece of media?
The answer lies within the tale. If even you cannot understand it, perhaps you should relinquish the divinity of reason to me. After all, it'd be a waste for you to hold on to it. My story ends here. Now it's time for you to tell me your secret. After all, this is what equivalent exchange means, correct?
As expected, you laid a trap for me to step into, unfortunately. Even if I was willing to talk about my past, I may not know more about it than you do.
Oh? Are you saying that the renowned Reason Titan is now admitting a lack of wisdom?
This guy is spicy.
Your followers
Ridiculous.
are going to be sorely disappointed by this.
Ah.
Child of humanity, remember this. Being cognizant of one's ignorance is the greatest wisdom.
Yes! Yes. True.
Now I understand.
True.
No wonder you asked me to answer your random, nonsensical questions.
True. Facts.
Not only that, you're the only one who can shed light on my query. As the saying goes, onlookers see most clearly.
Is
Man.
that so?
Lord Anaxa. I saw you muttering to yourself and was wondering whether you were caught in a delirium of reflective thought. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but time is of the essence. I have a message from Lord Lygus. Lady Kindness has met up with the Council of Elders and is awaiting
Lady
your
Kindness.
arrival. So please depart forthwith.
It's finally time.
No kidding. That took forever.
Carefully. The one who created the world, and the one who bears the world. If you truly have not met your end, how will you answer the challenges of those who defy you?
I didn't expect you to agree to Lady Kindness's invitation. What a wonderful turn of events. To tell you the truth, there are many people who hold grudges against that Lady Goldweaver.
Ooh, against the Goliath? Why? Why against the Goliath?
Isn't that the Dromas draped in finery?
Oh goodness.
Avoid his gaze. I don't acquaint myself with blasphemers.
Here we go.
Don't worry. He's too full of pride to pay us any attention.
Your nickname is Dromas as well? You must really like those creatures.
Aw, but he held one and he's little. Oh my goodness. You like the stuffy. He likes the Droma stuffies.
A student of Empedocles? I hear that his views run counter to the Venerationists.
This is what being a scholar is about. A collision of ideas only occurs when there are differences in beliefs, and it is such collisions that lead to progress.
Yet, in my view, there are only right and wrong perspectives, neither of which can coexist with the other.
What radical thinking. I guess this is why the children of humanity always squabble with each other.
How boring.
Lord Lygus and Lady Kindness are just ahead. I'll take my leave for now.
This is why you walk slowly, because they interrupt the story. They have a problem with like letting you free roam and then putting the voiceovers on it, because you keep interrupting the voiceovers. Make sure we can't move so that we can hear the full voiceover, because then you lose, like, you know, use like your experience over it. My immersion. We'll look for it. Maybe I have it somewhere. That'd be really crazy if I had it somewhere. I just haven't. I don't know. I don't look for stuff unless it's applicable to me. I know it sounds horrible, but if it's like if I'm not doing it for myself, I don't know why I would do it for others. Sometimes, not all the time. It's a mood thing. Like translating and stuff, you know? Like, why would I translate for people if I already know what it's being said? I wonder, but GT is owned by Viacom now, so it's not like I could go and ask, like, Brandon or somebody, hey, do you have that one video from a while back? I mean, maybe I could ask them. Because, like, I don't know, they have a ton of stuff that they edited. Surely they backed up some stuff, right? I don't know, the site's gone, right? Not applicable. No, I didn't say that. I said it's not applicable for me to constantly be like, how do I say this? My time is finite. And I can't do everything all at once, everywhere. So I choose things that I also... I have things I want to get done for myself too? I don't know how to say it right. Yeah, I could probably ask them. I don't know if they would have any of it though. Yeah, I don't know. I'll look. Anyway, let me continue because I gotta get this done. Otherwise I won't get to Xenoblade X. That's what I mean by I gotta get stuff done. Okay, let's continue. I gotta get through this, otherwise I can't get to Xenoblade X tomorrow. No, I mean, yeah, I mean like about talking about it, not about doing it. I mean, it's on my list of things to do. I'm just saying like in general. Okay, let's go.
Welcome to the Demigod Council, esteemed guests.
Lord Anaxagoras. Oh, I've
Ah,
heard so much about
play.
you.
Kindness.
Head
Play.
of the Newsporists of the Grove of Epiphany, notorious blasphemer, a Chrysos heir who
Notorious
bears
blasphemer.
Circe's core flame, a survivor of the Grove calamity. Did I miss anything? Well, if so, please be so kind as to enlighten me.
Since Lady Kindness is already well acquainted with me, I won't waste any effort introducing myself again. But then again, perhaps the customs are different here. Back in my hometown, there is a form of etiquette known as honoring guests. The host will welcome their guest with warm hospitality by treating them to fine wine and a cozy bed. And yet, ever since I arrived, I have not been welcomed with warm courtesy or ceremonial gifts. Instead, I am met with intense scrutiny. Even more absurd, the host has sharpened their blade and instructed their servants to lie in wait in the shadows. Perhaps you intend to cut open my heart, retrieve the core flame, and then hold a grand feast for all of the guests.
Yeesh, that's dark.
Everyone, stand down.
That's dark. Chill,
Thank
Kindness.
you for understanding. I am but a feeble scholar who is not used to the stench of avarice and blood.
No need to be humble, my lord. From my perspective, your courage and gumption are worthy of the reputation of the Seven Sages. Your bravery is more than adequate to accomplish our perilous endeavor.
Yeah, well,
So,
you know,
You wish to start a war?
she always wants to start a
Well,
war, or
since
she's
the
always
Chrysos
wanted to.
heirs are calling for war, we will
Disagreements.
respond in kind.
Yeah, see.
Conflict is
No respect for
inevitable.
having discussion at
Since
different
Aglaya
points of opinion.
endeavors to suppress the virtuous
Right?
commoners with blood of gold, we will not hesitate to display the rights and mettle the citizens of Akama are so entitled to.
And so the point of both war and conflict and the conversation that is also going up above chat, as far as the conversation, I think that it's not just that, but it's also sometimes people, when they pass away or they have material things or they don't donate them somewhere, sometimes people will donate things and then people might discard them, or maybe they have like an estate sale, or like there's like a number of things. So that's why you're right in the fact that private collections are hard to track, because essentially what happens is after they're passing, unless they bequeath it to somebody and somebody finds value in keeping it, they let it go, or they may throw it out. They may be like, oh, I have such a bad relationship with my family member that gave me this thing that I hate it, and it's a symbol of like their passion for this thing, but I dislike them so much I'm gonna throw it away out of spite. So like there are a lot of crazy dynamics like that with private collections, you know. It's not just solely like that person's keeping it because of the value. Sometimes people don't know the value of said thing either, right? So like there could be a lot of reasons for it being disposed of, or not being properly taken care of, or it could have accidentally got knocked over by the cat and broken and thrown away because the cat knocked over the $8,000 compass of order. You know, like you never know what happens to it, you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. I've heard stories about all sorts of stuff in my pursuit of items. And same thing with like war, where they're talking about here the Chrysosers and calling for war. Same thing with their artifacts in history, right? When there's wars that break out, things that don't get preserved, stuff gets burned, books get burned, artifacts get destroyed, right? And so that's why there's like a sense of like preserving history, and preservationists and historians are such a big thing. And I think that there's value in preserving these things, and I think even in real life, in comparison to this game here, right, is that like stuff just gets destroyed and lost, and so the people that decide to hold it together are the people that you are able to experience things through because they had the foresight to back things up, you know?
As to your question of whether peace is still a viable option, well, to that I can only say this. Everything hinges on the next citizens' assembly and whether they have a sudden epiphany amid the clamor of the masses.
Look at what's going on currently, right? Like, a lot of short-sightedness. A lot of people are short-sighted and see things in the short term for themselves. You can only really see in the long term when you're not in survival mode, like when you're not thinking about when the next meal's coming, or if you can pay rent, or if you can do things. And that's why, unfortunately, the flaw of history and the arts and everything is that you cannot do anything beyond that until you're at a place where your daily needs are met. And I think that people take some things for granted, right? Yeah, exactly. Also, one of a kind versus multiple. I mean, there's a lot of factors, but people don't pay attention to history, and I think it's funny that I don't know.
And since you,
applicable to both the game
accepted
and this
our
conversation,
invitation, you have indeed given us a glimmer of hope.
What brazen arrogance. What you're saying right now is worlds apart from what you were saying before you retired your cleaners.
Ooh. Oh.
I don't deny it.
Ooh.
After all, they're responsible for cleaning up any threats, and just a moment ago, you were on the side of the Chrysos heirs.
Always
But
having to
now
play
that
sides,
you're an
right?
ally of ours, we can continue talking somewhere else. As you know, these walls have ears.
Ugh, I hate her so much.
I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to discuss a treatise about the Venerationists with your teacher, Empedocles. Yet, it seems you subscribe to the Nusporists instead, Lord Anaxa. I've heard that this school of thought is one with many detractors.
It's normal for ideas to have supporters and dissenters, just like how there are two types of people in this world: geniuses and dimwits.
How annoying! I don't know how anybody can look at people as dimwits. And even if they were not the brightest, I also don't understand how people who are not the brightest could not desire to seek out better lives for themselves. Like, that's such a different conversation for another time. But very rude, Anaxa. Very rude.
Welcome back to the hub of the Demigod Council, Lord Anaxagoras. Surely you remember that countless eloquent orators have stood in this spot before and emerged victorious by stoking public sentiment with their words. And yet there have also been innumerable blasphemous philosophers who set themselves up for failure because they refused to defend their actions. This tiny stage is the most profound
Tiny stage?
embodiment of Akama in
Debatable.
centuries.
I don't think
In
it's
15 days.
15
this
days?
site shall
Oh my
also
gosh.
become the most important, as well
Wow.
as the final turning point in Akama's
everything in
history.
15 days. Gee, how
May the both of
coincidence.
us carry out our duties with honor and lead the masses back toward the Erechrysia, a golden age where no death, strife, or
This
trickery.
lady.
Oh my.
Yes.
15 days and nights.
Exactly.
That aligns perfectly with the date of your demise.
And also the
Could
date
such a coincidence
with
truly
Castris and
exist?
our main character, which is I.
Using death to prove myself
Oh my
fits my
gosh.
intentions perfectly.
What strong conviction you have. As expected of the hero who dared to stand up to the Gold Weaver.
As expected, she misunderstands you.
That's enough.
Well, he said there were two
kindness.
different types of people.
Dispense with the niceties.
Dimwits
I
was
only
one of them.
accepted your invitation so that I can serve the commoners alongside the members of the Council of Elders. Don't test my patience with such superfluous formalities.
Well, you say that now, but surely you also require my aid as well, so that you can stay alive even when being pursued by the Golden Thread?
You worry too much. She won't
Right.
show her hand too freely, as she still needs to garner support from the masses at the Citizens' Assembly.
Even someone like me can tell that only a sliver of her humanity remains. Surely you're not asserting that she will definitely act in a rational manner.
Of course she will. What are you talking
As
about?
you're no doubt aware, Aglaya covets the core flame that I possess, which makes it the bargaining chip that allows me and the rest of you to negotiate with her. However, in return, I'll need the Council of Elders to support me as much as possible. Naturally, this includes the guards as well. You're well aware how valuable Cersei's core flame will be in the era Chrysia that you are desperately pursuing. Talk is cheap, so you'd better act prudently as well.
Yeah.
I understand. After all, this battle of wits is just a means for each party to acquire what they need. As long as your request is reasonable, the Council of Elders never shortchanges its allies. Since we're both intent on mutual cooperation, let's not mince words and just speak plainly to each other. Let us decide how much we can secure for ourselves and how much we're willing to sacrifice, like true philosophers.
Oh my gosh.
With our words
Full of
and
herself.
wisdom. Continuing from the earlier topic, let us discuss our
Full
common enemy,
of herself.
Aglaya. She is the second most experienced Chrysos heir across the whole of Akama, who has gradually lost her humanity to the ravages of time and the ablation of the core flame. A formidable opponent indeed.
It's so odd that they see her this way.
Admittedly, there is ample reason for her to take your life. Yet your previous reasoning is quite sound. As a seasoned political animal, it's unclear whether she will actually cross that irreversible boundary.
Probably not.
Moreover, she still needs you alive so that the Titan's trial can be completed. Is there anyone present who can swear by the sacred vow of Kefali and guarantee that you weren't in league with that woman before coming here? Are you just trying to pull the wool over our eyes and aid her in her savagery?
She's prepared to execute me.
I believe you're aware of Castorus the Executioner. Long before I returned to Akama, Aglaya had already dispatched her to monitor me. If I weren't able to reach this place in time, I would have been forced to meet Thanatos first. As compared to a comprehensive plan with uncertain results, if you decide to cut open my chest and remove the core flame, wouldn't that settle her nerves even more? Everything is in place. She just needs the right timing.
I understand what you mean. At the very least, the both of us agree that this tyrant who wallows in extravagance and greed is the greatest threat to achieving peace in Akama.
Wait, where is this woman's perspective coming from, right? Like, what the heck?
Just as we defend every
How people see things is wild. Like, how people see themselves
However,
is
I
even
regret to
crazier
say that
sometimes.
sentiments in favor of the Chrysos heirs
No sense
and
of self-awareness.
Aglaya are only growing in magnitude. The peace that we are aspiring toward, as well as everything that we hold dear, will be destroyed completely. The city will be burned to ashes, and the citizens' blood will be shed. Tell me, what are you willing to do for our esteemed citizens so that they can vanquish the enemies of our fine city?
Although the circumstances are rather unfortunate from an objective point of view, it is an undeniable fact that ever since the Grove was attacked, I have become the de facto leader of the Grove. The Council of Elders needs more backing if it wishes to topple Aglaya, and it's evident that the Academy wields considerable influence. At the very least, I have served as the Grove's special envoy to Akama for a significant amount of time. Of course, this also means that I will hold a crucial vote at the Citizens' Assembly.
In the name of Kefali, Akama thanks you for your sincere and valuable thoughts. At this stage, it's clear that you and I understand the benefits to be won from this discussion. Let me put it plainly. The Council of Elders has always been renowned for its fairness, and that fairness is built on a foundation of sincerity.
Yeah, okay.
The Council of Elders has vowed to all citizens of Akaba that it will always remain loyal to them. As for you, my lord, how will you guarantee that you will be able to live up to such earnestness and will not betray Akama's indomitable citizens when the opportunity presents itself? Just as you now betray Aglaya when it suits you.
Surely you jest. My loyalty does not need to be proven. The fact that the Council of Elders is asking for proof of my loyalty is itself akin to a form of betrayal.
I am incredibly honored to have witnessed the both of you bury the hatchet in a civilized manner. However, I am afraid that I must interrupt for a brief moment. As the Theoros, I have observed the following. Lady
She's like, nah, I'm gonna have a discussion.
Oh. Well, I do believe that we might have a slight overabundance of guests today.
Feeling dissatisfied, Lady Kindness? Despite the Council of Elders' lofty residence on Dawncloud, it must still tolerate the whims of the Chrysos heirs.
So you were holding back just now. Seems like you are better at playing this game than I. In any case, I'm glad that she's arriving here. So tell me, Anaxagoras, now that you're an ally of mine, if Aglaya were to demand that I hand you over, what should I do?
You can do as she says. Tell her that the Council of Elders merely wished to chat with me and had no intention of offending her. However, by doing so, the authority of the Council of Elders will be as thin as papyrus that has been soaked in blood. Not only can it be destroyed at the slightest touch, but the Council will also lose possession of a
Instigator.
core flame. No, more like 2 core flames. After all, at the next Citizens' Assembly, that young lady who is synonymous with death will also be standing on our side.
Oh? How can you be sure of that?
Is that of importance to you? All you need to know is that I have a plan. In my opinion, you should be more worried about the impending threat. If Aglaya can seize me in full view of the masses today, she could also dismiss the entire Council of Elders in one fell swoop tomorrow. If that happens, the discussion that we've just had will turn into an utter joke instead. Is this the outcome that you wish to see, Lady Kindness?
Fine. I will handle this matter appropriately. But you do best to remember this. Fool the people and karma will be on your tail. I'll overlook it this time, but don't count on there being a next time. Unless, of course, you crave cruel punishment and consider suffering the perfect state to ponder the true nature of souls.
Well, what do you know? That happens to be one of my rare talents.
We shall see then.
I've got to say that you've managed to really impress me again. But shouldn't you be going after more?
Dying to know what I'm after, hmm?
I mean, I'm the reason Titan after all. It is in me to ask and seek answers.
Easy there. You'll learn the answers soon enough. I didn't bring it up with her purely because she doesn't have the means to give me what I truly want. It's as they say, onlookers see most clearly. The true masters of Dawncloud have always been the Theoros, who watches over everything.
Oh boy.
An expected visitor. Welcome once again. You know, you could actually skip all the pointless debate and come straight to me to seek an audience with Kefali. I have no reason to refuse you. Do I?
You may not, but Kindness has. Whoever gets hold of Kefali's core flame will get to rule over Akama. She's wary of me, so naturally I had to gain her trust. I would say that debate was not at all pointless.
Very true.
In my view, this individual
Oh boy.
has gone to great lengths to get close to Kefali. He might very well be plotting something nefarious against the Titan. Are you still willing to let him pass, knowing this?
Yes, very much so. All living creations are always free to visit Kefali's transcendent vessel. This comes with being the World-Bearer.
How convenient it is to be able to hear what they say.
It is truly my honor to speak to a venerated Titan in person. Please, go ahead. Let me join you both on this journey. Oh, a bygone myth tells of an occasion where carefully Watte answered their followers' questions on the peak of the Holy Mountain. Their followers have since believed that scaling this Titan cliff is one way of being with the god.
Hear that? It's not every day that you get to climb a mountain with Circes. You should sing me a hymn of praise.
Titan hymns are beyond me.
Oh goodness. I hope we get through this quickly. Yeah, sometimes I'll see stuff. There's stuff at various places that it's hard to tell if stuff is authentic or not anymore, but if you have enough experience with it, you can tell if stuff is authentic. Collection wise.
Go on ahead. Take this Yanis shortcut, and the long pilgrimage stairway will be waiting for you at its end.
I have to admit, I never expected you to not ask me anything. Not even my motive.
Because I know very well what it is you are after. As the saying goes, a gentleman helps others achieve their goals. I have a feeling that your theory will be validated at the end of this journey. I believe Kefali will not deprive you of your right to ask your question, especially now that you're on the brink of death. You must be closer to Kefali than anyone else. Wouldn't you agree?
I hope things go as you say, then.
Putting a child of justice into a farcical world is bound to turn it upside down. It is my hope that you bring a much-needed change to this world which is on the brink of destruction.
Honestly, this is my first time going up to Dawn Cloud's peak.
What a splendid view. Isn't it about time you recognize the magnificence of us Titans?
Nah, he's good. He doesn't need to.
Well, I don't see how this place is different from those temples in the city. All they have are magnificent facades. And even though I've come this far, I'm still doubtful about getting useful clues from him.
I must be getting ahead of myself to be expecting to hear something nice from you.
Oh? Haven't you been in my head for some time now? It's high time you get used to how I feel about things. Alright, we're just a short hike away from Kefali. No time to waste here.
So the intellectual debate from earlier was too draining for you, huh? If Amphoreus gets a new lease on life, you should focus on strengthening your body and stop shirking social interactions.
Save your concern.
The Titan is in sight. Can you make it?
Why? Are you going to carry me up if
Princess
I were to
style.
fall now? I know how far I can go, so just hold your tongue and come along.
Fine then. I guess I won't say any more. I'll just wait till your soul dissipates completely to gain control over your body.
Somebody.
Is that Cersei's? Hey, look at that.
Huh? What should I be looking at?
Am I hallucinating? Or do we even get to see souls when we're close to dying?
Oh? Why didn't you bring your favorite spear with you on this trip, Naias?
Naias! Let's go.
Naias. I know I've heard this name somewhere.
Huh. It's unfortunate. The Black Tide destroyed every last inch of my calyx.
How could that be? Even a creation of Georios, from their prized ores and molten fire, couldn't escape the fate of destruction?
Hey, Cersei's. Do you know a certain Naias?
Naias? No, not that I remember. How did you even think up such a strange name?
I just saw him. Naias.
Oh my goodness.
A warrior-like figure who was just chatting with you here.
No, I have no such memory.
She doesn't remember though. She doesn't remember her past.
Hallucinating?
That's crazy because we know who Naias is. Oh goodness.
This is a departed spirit.
Enough about me. Did Kaos ever reply to you?
Well, regrettably.
Seems like the price of becoming a demigod is a lot heftier than we thought.
Kaos. Demigod. I've never heard of this person. Which Titan's authority did he inherit?
Look on the bright side, Naias. Since we've come all this way, I doubt he'd snub his old
This is
friends.
so crazy. Naias is probably the inheritor of the Death Titans. Before
Let's just hope we mean as much as the world to him.
Cassius.
Are you seeing that same hallucination again?
Yes. It's still you and Naias, but you're now talking about a certain Kaos. I'm guessing he's one of your companions?
Kaos? This name sounds just as strange to me.
Never mind. I think I know what this is about. If things are as I thought, then they aren't hallucinations, but the souls of people.
What? But if those are the souls of the dead, then what am I?
Beats me. For all I know, you're just an illusion I conjured up in my dying moments. Let's just keep going. As long as I take in more sights and hear more stories.
Know your limits. Wander too far among the dead, and even I might not be able to save you.
I'm fine. If this is indeed as I thought, then this would be very amusing. So...
Can you keep going?
Of course. I'm just... If I knew we had to climb a mountain, I wouldn't have come along with you.
Me.
I guess
For
this
sure.
also counts as one aspect of the world-bearing burden. If Amphoreus does have a next life, you may want to get your body in shape.
Keep your sarcasm to yourself.
I'm not getting anything of value from them.
I would sooner throw myself
Wow,
off this
ouch.
cliff and hit rock bottom than exercise even a little.
Dang. Legit.
I am Calypso
An
of the
introvert
eminent
thought
seven
process.
sages, after all. Training would make me no different from those Helcalithist barbarians.
Calypso. She's one of the seven sages. A member of the Grove? No, she can't be. I would know her name if she really were one of the seven sages. Hey, Circes. Does the name Calypso ring a bell? Circes? They're gone. Doesn't matter. I can do this myself. Looks like I'm nearly there now. The land of the dead. We're here. Finally. So, I don't get to ask the Titan my question. But all of you make for a pleasant surprise, nonetheless. Very well then. Let me uncover the truth for myself. Did I still fail to make it in time? So, I'm back here again. This is... I can hear it. I hear it from the depths of the tides.
Oh my goodness.
Behind the closed doors of the void world.
I really wish she wouldn't be the one
voice
to learn something
ready to
over
tell
everybody
me
else.
something.
Because, like, I really would like a sane
This
person to
time,
learn about stuff.
The voice is a lot clearer than before.
You know? Oh boy.
Since we've come this far, let's just wait.
Oh no. This is not good. Also, I'm knocking stuff over left and right down here. Here we go.
Lord Nias and
Oh
Mr.
no!
Here to visit Chaos too.
Oh no! Why are they have to all be together?
Yes. And
This is
we've been
bad.
waiting for quite some time
Oh
now.
goodness me. This is not good.
Regrettably, he hasn't answered us.
This is bad.
The worst case scenario is that he's already been overwhelmed and crushed by the world-bearing burden.
You're overthinking, Lord Nias. I can still sense Chaos' soul in the area. And besides, we both know Chaos' nature. A deliverer like him wouldn't fall so readily, much less give up on all that he holds dear. Isn't that so?
Yes, I have faith in him.
That reminds me. Why are you making this trip alone, Polixia?
Oh, my sister needs more time to make sure the flowers are fine.
Such a pity. Both of you have hearts kinder than anyone else. Yet you are born only to take over Thanatos' divinity.
Everything that I see and hear this time has left me shaken to the core. What may seem like a mundane conversation is in truth a once-in-a-lifetime exchange that has revealed the ultimate answer to Circe's question. The conjecture has taken shape and must now be solidified into a theorem. Next, I only need to seek verification from Kefali. By doing so, I can answer Circe's question and reclaim my body. But no, I will not do that. That isn't important. Because another one of my conjectures, one that I have always dreamed of proving, has been proved right this very instant. Fusing a mortal soul with that of a Titan to replace said Titan is not a ludicrous idea after all.
Oh boy.
What are you thinking about?
Just how amazing, just amazed at how this towering tree is Cersei's divine body. It's a majestic sight.
Is that so? You don't look the slightest bit amazed, though. Plus, you seem to be strangely familiar with the city around the Great Tree.
Merely something from the past that I won't go into.
Events of the past, huh? I was also a child when I looked up at Cersei's. Their leaves and branches reflected the sparkling stars, and their trunk was like a pillar that supported the sky and ground. I stood at this very spot back then, imagining the day when I could climb to the top of this tree, because I would be the closest I can be to the sky at that spot.
You're a sky priest, yet you study at a place this is home to the Reason Titan? That's rather counterintuitive.
Don't read too much into it. I mean, can mortals even hope to reach Aquila's realm? They're a strict and draconian god. Nothing like Cersei's. Reason is willing to share what is theirs with others, but Sky only expects people to revere them. You get what I'm saying, right, Denny? After all, the Titan that imprisoned you and Grey here in Amphoreus is none other than Aquila themselves.
Yes, I didn't count on provoking the ire of a local god.
But there will always be people who dream of soaring towards the sky. The Grove has a wealth of research on Aquila, and that is exactly what we are here for. It's just, I never thought Grey would meet with something like that before we set off. As a physician, I should have been there by his side.
Bad luck tends to come in streaks, so don't beat yourself up over it. Besides, the Goliath needs you to uncover the truth behind what happened to the Grove. Let's just make the most of this trip and keep a lookout for any documents related to the Death Titan. They could be useful to him.
Yeah, there is no rest for the weary, huh? In any case, what we're looking for could be anywhere in this enormous grove. Let's split up to cover more ground. Danny, with your skills, I'm sure those monsters born of the Black Tide will pose no threat to you anyway.
What about you? Will you be alright on your own?
Have you forgotten that you're talking to the chief physician of the Twilight Courtyard? Have more faith in me. I'll be just fine.
The silence in here is near deafening. With that vast amount of knowledge it holds, this academy is akin to a labyrinth of information. Even the cleverest of scholars would easily lose their way in. I should gather my thoughts before heading in. Nobody could have imagined that his life would be forfeited the moment we landed on Amphoreus. Should have done more to keep him safe, but it's not too late. We still have a fighting chance. The unique rules that govern life and death on Amphoreus might just work in our favor and save him. The Grove is veritably a library of knowledge, so they have records of similar cases. Please let there be one. And Miss Aquila, the Titan who reigns over the domain of skies, is a colossal bird that overlooks the world beneath them with 100 eyes. As long as they continue to soar above the clouds, the people of Amphoreus will remain trapped on the ground. Hyacinth's forebears were priests who worshipped Aquila. Nobody is familiar with the taboos of the sky more than her. Seeing that Aglaya has sent her here as a guide, it's possible that she plans to have Hyacinth take on the trial in the future. In Amphoreus, the Titans are a common topic of discussion. People create myths that in turn conceive Titans. It's a tricky task to keep an objective view when among the people of Amphoreus. Is there a way to step out of the situation and look at it from a different perspective? Crisis heirs are humans. Yes, we are aware of crisis heirs. Okay, we're good. Okay, so we're looking for... Oh, is it really the other way? Okay. Okay. We were here last time, so I don't know why they're making us resync with everything. Probably so we can't cheat the teleport, but still, like, we were already here last time. Black monsters are twisted form and their life is turned to ash together with their souls. It's impossible to figure out their form if they were still alive. These are the remains of the black tide monster. It looks different from Titankin from up close. What's underneath it? A scroll? A record to debate Veneris and Neospora scholars is most ineligible, leaving only fragments of dialogue. As expected, the Grove doesn't forbid discussions about the sky. It's a debate between two scholars about the skyships. Aglaya has also made mention of ships that interrogated us, a memory I'd rather forget. I'll hold on to this for now. With any luck, this journey won't leave us empty-handed. Hyacinth! That's Hyacinth. Why is she surrounded by so many monsters? As much faith as I have in her, it's probably a good idea to help her out.
Really now? This is way more trouble than I could have asked for.
Need a hand?
Or you could sit back and watch.
There! I already like her already. I can't tell if you're serious or not, but being hard to read isn't without its perks, I suppose?
I'm kidding, Danny. Lend me a hand, pretty please? Alright, now let's get him!
Repay!
Face up, resonate all together!
Catadons? Ha!
Wanted to doubt farewell.
Bid in gold.
Tonight, stars echo!
I thought I knew who it was. Did I know who it was? I heard about it already, I'm pretty sure.
You chose the wrong
I don't remember who it was, but I'm pretty sure I knew.
Receive divinity.
I'm pretty sure I knew.
Trinity is before me. This mortal
Whoa.
guide you on your path.
Countless, thus our fates become one. All lives will be revealed.
Ah, boo. This place is practically in ruins. What happened? There shouldn't be this many monsters here.
The Black Tide is remarkably quick to detect the light of Amphoreus. So or rather, the blessings of the Sky Priest in me, might have unknowingly called them to me. Anyway, never mind that for now. Here, you might want to have a look at this. I found it around here and thought it might be of interest to you.
He was previously in Tekken 7, so he was in 7 as DLC as well, so they're just like adding him again as DLC again. Why, I don't know, but yeah, he's been in there before. He was in the last Tekken. Anaxagoras? He's a scholar who fused himself with the core flame of reason.
This is new. I didn't know Professor Anaxa was researching the sky. He's never mentioned anything about it.
Finon said Anaxa might be opposed to the flame chase journey?
Might is an understatement. Anaxa has never been one to venerate the gods, nor has he ever found it within himself to put any faith in the prophecy. People have come to think of him as a heretic, even in a place as liberal as the Grove. Yet, it is also this very blasphemer that Cersei's favors. Fate sure works in mysterious ways.
I picked up a scroll on the way here too. Looks like it may be related to the one you're holding.
Oh? Let me have a look. By the looks of them, these scrolls are records of two conversations that took place in the same setting, one after the other.
There's still much I don't know about the Grove. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Sure, go ahead.
Who were the Venerationists?
The Grove of Epiphany is home to 7 schools of thought. While all 7 schools are founded on the ideologies of Thalesis, the first scholar, each is unique in its own way. Among them, the Venerationists revere and worship the Titans the most.
Oh.
As the sage of the Venerationists, Euthyphro has always been at loggerheads with Anaxa. If we were to place the 7 sages on the scales of Talanton, Anaxa and Euthyphro would be placed on opposite sides to achieve balance.
A very illustrative explanation, thank you. Was it a mistake to build the skyships?
Nearly everyone in Amphoreus has heard the story of the skyships by now. Aquila's stature is loftier than the heavens, and their divine retribution is merciless. That's why it's no use building giant skyfaring ships. Oh, but I do wonder if a supercharged mini Treevee cannon could slip past their watch.
That was a joke, right? What is Anaxa's field of study?
Newsporists primarily study the application of alchemy in soul repair.
Meaning?
Everyone considers Anaxa a blasphemer, but that has never stopped him from sharing his ideas, no matter how taboo. If you must say that he's hiding something, then it's likely what lies beneath his eye patch.
I don't have any more questions.
Anaxa often says that every failure brings us one step closer to the truth. Perhaps, to him, the crash of the skyship carries a different interpretation. The firmament is not impenetrable. On the contrary, it was precisely because the skyship represented the first step toward breaking free from the shackles of the earth that it provoked the wrath of the Sky Titan and brought divine punishment upon itself. It's a shame that the majority of the Grove's research on Aquila was headed by the Venerationists, with sacrificial rituals making up a predominant part of their findings. discourse about more esoteric subject matters in relation to Aquila dwindled even further after the skyship incident. So much so that even this scroll is completely new to me.
Don't worry about it. We're just collect everything we can find on the Titans for now. There's something else that caught my attention though. This says that Anax is conducting secret experiments of some sort.
That's what I'd like to know. What are these experiments he's involved in? Even I, the assistant lecturer, know next to nothing about them. I have a bad feeling about this. Could there be more to what happened at the Grove?
A day of peaceful repose.
Let's wait and see.
The show begins. This is the Library of Philia, a place where the Grove stores its collection of tomes. Other than books written by the 7 schools, you can also find philosophical texts, ballads, and religious writings from the Outlands here. Cities that desire to learn from the Grove were apparently expected to contribute knowledge of equal value to what they sought. We've had more than our fair share of hilarious episodes over the years. For instance, it's said that the Erythrocheramists once borrowed a manuscript from a certain author, but ended up returning a copy instead of the original. What's more, the original manuscript was supposedly then hidden here.
That doesn't seem like a nice thing to do.
Nice? No need to hold yourself back, Danny. You can just tell it like it is. Their behavior was no different from bandits.
Well, if you don't mind, did the Grove ever rob Castrum Kremnos?
Whew. You've got me there. Some said you couldn't even find a dictionary in Castrum Kremnos, so I guess they were spared. There are too many books in the Library of Philia. Flipping through them all will take too long. Why don't we use the Biblioslate to search for the text we need? We can bring them back to Akuma for reading after that.
Agreed, this place isn't safe, so we should leave as soon as we're done. There still are several more scrolls strewn all over the place. I'll gather them while you pull those texts. This way, nothing will be overlooked. A record of the many research topics a Caprice's scholar had applied for. The replies of the school sage about these topics: discovery of mythological beasts renowned for longevity across areas of poorly managed birth and death records for such creatures. Permission to research reply lacks research significance, is not approved. 2. Observation of real plants. 3. Investigation of feasibility of flying birds and rocket tubes to guide the direction of rocket's flight. Impressive tenacity. Hopefully it helped them survive the Black Tide. There are compliant letters from the scholars about Anaxagoras, the blasphemer. There's a thick stack of letters? Based on the dust accumulated and the perfectly intact seals, the complainee did not even bother opening them and just chucked them aside into the corner. This is about Anaxa. I should read this. Hyacinth, you should come have a look too.
Ugh, it's so dusty in here. Whoa. Are these all complaints about him? I can already see what they must have written. Anaxa has no respect for the gods. His very existence undermines order in our society. They're probably all things like that.
Does Anaxa hold that much influence?
Why else would they call him the Great Performer? When Anaxa established his school of thought, the first thing he apparently did was read his own work to everyone. Are the Titans truly an accurate reflection of what humans think gods should be? worlds created by gods are indubitably perfect, but what of Amphoreus? Only foolishness and insensitivity everywhere you turn.
An uncanny impersonation. What happened after?
They marched him straight to the seat of judgment before he could finish. Though what he took on in the end was more of a debate than an actual trial. He had to address every one of the scholar's allegations, or face expulsion from the grove.
Whoa.
The first allegation was... Do you agree that since the Titans created the heavens and earth, so the mountains, rivers, and seas must likewise be their creations?
He obviously said no, right? And I suppose to put myself in an Axe's shoes and answer that. No. Based on the history of Flamechief's journey, humans have the potential to take over the divinity of Titans.
Anaxa said the same thing then.
Wow.
Needless to say, his critics didn't take kindly to his answer, so they followed up with a second allegation. You claim to be studying souls, yet you are, in fact, defiling them and committing acts condemned by the gods. Do you admit it?
That's a serious allegation. Did he really do that?
Anaxa always wears an eye patch, never removing it, even when alone. Some say he used one of his eyes as an alchemical ingredient. Every being in the world owes their safekeeping to Kifili, and this is even more so for the Chrysos heirs who have divine blood coursing through them. If he has really done something of that nature...
Oh, because he was a chosen one, right? Wow, I see why.
No way to prove it, so it amounted to nothing more than an allegation in the end. One by one, Anaxa engaged in wars of words against those who would challenge him. Toward the end, a scholar asked him, Anaxagoras, have you any respect for the gods? It was only after a brief silence that he answered, I have never denied that Titans are meant to be noble constructs.
What? He didn't say that the Titans are not noble? Rings louder in this case.
Yes. I'm not sure how that controversy was eventually resolved. But what's for certain, at least, is that Anaxa was allowed to stay in the grove where he continued his research, despite being regarded as a heretic. By the way, this stack of complaint letters has reminded me of a place in the grove. We may find clues there that aren't on the teleslate. I'm talking about Anaxa's alchemy lab, hidden between the cornerstones.
Given the Grove's meticulous approach to archiving, could there really be such an oversight right underneath their noses?
It's a well-kept secret. Among the 7 sages, excluding the nominal chief sage, each has a private sanctuary where they can conduct research undisturbed in their free time. Even the administrators of the Library of Philia are restricted from accessing those places and documenting the sage's research. But with the grove in this state, I'm sure Anaxa won't be mad even if we sneak into the lab for a short while. Right?
These trees are like a maze.
This is the place, but where is everything? Materials for alchemical experiments, matrix diagrams, and even the seal to the lab. They're all gone. Did the Black Tide destroy it all?
I wonder we didn't see any defense mechanisms along the way. Have you ever been here before?
No, not even close. Not only are alchemy experiments high-risk activities, But Professor Anaxa also has a penchant for using bizarre materials. Students often saw him walk in looking right as rain, but come out covered in soot with his hair singed. Naturally, no one dared to come near this place. Huh? That bookshelf over there seems to be the only thing still intact.
There are materials requested by Anaxagoras. Documents from various fields are compiled to one place, including Titan creations, universality of the soul, alchemy doctrine, and so on. Most of the materials look to be written in the research domain of the Amphoreus school of thought. However, a document titled "A Study on Crisis Heirs' Backgrounds" is mixed within. Oh goodness. I myself have no such connections. He's researching. Wow.
What's going on? Anaxa is conducting research on our friends in Alchemy.
He wants to know where all those powers came from, right?
Me?
The journal contains several intriguing points. The creation of the Titans. From the Abyss of the Fate to Castrum Kremnos, I've seen many a Titan creation during my time in Amphoreus. Life forms created by Circes can be found in the Grove, but fusing them with the human soul through alchemical means, I can't even begin to imagine. But the Crisis heirs, Anaxa seems to be holding a special interest in the divinity coursing through their veins, and has even conducted a thorough investigation into the heroes' backgrounds.
It wouldn't have been so strange if he had focused only on Cassie, given her own curiosity about her origins. Plus, considering that the new Sporists have crafted omnipotent medicines capable of curing diseases, it also makes sense that he would conduct research on immortal Chrysos heirs. But now, it seems Anaxa's objective was never to create medicine, but to identify the origin of the golden blood and figure out its inner workings.
Anaxa's research, though through alchemy, Anaxa aims to refine the golden blood of the Crisis heirs to have a degree of purity equal to divinity. This must be what he means by getting close to purity, but treating both Titan creations and human bodies as material to be used in alchemy experiments? That's rather extreme.
Danny, look at this. I have a bad feeling about this.
Using souls of the Titans to replace the Titans in the golden blood, right? Artificial. Oh my goodness, that's probably what he's doing. Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. He wants to basically make an artificial Titan. But, like, his motivation, I guess he wants his family back. I guess that's his motivation, right?
My biggest fear. It's come true. After going through his notes, I think I can piece it all together now. Anaxa was carrying out experiments on soul transmutation.
You mean he's trying to reconstruct human souls alchemically?
Yes, this is what he was secretly conducting research on. Something he had to keep hidden from others. Compared to his public speeches, this is the real blasphemy. Oh, I just thought of something.
What's wrong?
Do you remember? When the Black Tide was approaching, the Grove had planned to send Circe's core flame to a safe place. But an accident happened along the way, and Anaxa lost his life in the process.
But Circe took over his body, resurrected him, which led to the situation we're in now.
That's right. But what if Professor Anaxa's fusion with the core flame of reason wasn't an accident?
What do you mean?
Put yourself in his shoes. Knowing that the Black Tide was closing in and your time was running out, what would you have done?
Looked for the truth before you lost the answers. I'd put my theories to the test no matter the cost.
Exactly. When the Black Tide came, the true reason Anaxa headed to the Luminary Throne was to transmute and fuse himself with the Titan's core flame.
Did he succeed?
No. Judging from how he reacted after the event, the results came as a surprise. Maybe he failed to consider the possibility that Circes would make a similar decision. The manuscripts detailing all the alchemical formulae have been taken away. His research is still ongoing.
Could he have taken them for other purposes?
Like, what?
Hmm.
There's only one Titan left in the world now.
Oh.
No way.
He wants to fuse himself with Kefali. To conceive of entity of perfection, one must first understand the principles of creation. If Anax is an Akama now, then that must mean...
He's after Kefali.
Yep. Dang, this setup.
Sir,
This setup.
This sky
Oh
above
my
us,
gosh.
it's not real, is it?
This setup.
Of course not. This is just an image from a projection device used for educational purposes. A simple trick. The day-night cycle has been lost to this world. So that students like you may still learn about the night sky, astronomers have harnessed the Titan's miraculous power to manipulate the light, projecting the nights of the past here for you. Much like how the sky above the Holy City is also illuminated by Kefali's dawn device.
So, the skies of Akama are fake too.
You mustn't conclude that, Anaxa. You should know that only a child would expose a trick and be proud of it. Often people know more than they let on. They simply choose to feign ignorance because they have no other choice.
Then they're just deluding themselves. People believe in Kefali's tale of Genesis, accepting wholesale whatever the priests preach. But we're different. We've already walked out of the firelit cave of ignorance. We have already realized that we live in a world where Titans make the rules. Even when we look at the sky, we're only seeing what they allow us to see. Rather than gazing at this mockery of a night sky fabricated by them for the rest of my life, why shouldn't I be the one to take control of the projection device instead?
Oh my goodness.
So much time has passed since you sowed the seeds of doubt in my heart, child. Many a night, I find myself penning down all my theories and wild ideas, only to burn them to ashes when I open my eyes in the day.
Why? Because we'll face death by burning if word gets out?
As a sage of the Venerationists, my soul has already become inextricably linked to the great tree. Every word I say and every move I make is certain to influence every leaf, every branch, even the tree itself. But above all else, my days are numbered. Instinctively, I have my doubts about the golden blood and the human soul, yet I have no means of verifying them. The golden blood in my veins is woefully thin, and I am loath to waste what little time I have left obsessing over a hypothesis that cannot even be proven in the first place.
But I can, sir. I can do it for us. The time is right. Give me all that I need, and I shall accomplish this grand feat on your behalf.
You're right. I shall do just that. In the next meeting of the sages, I will spare no efforts
they're gonna
fighting
axe
for
him.
the rights
He's done
you
for.
deserve. Go. Establish your
Oh
own
no,
school of
he
thought.
did let him do it though, right?
Find out what we are. Become the one who conquers the ultimate truths of the world.
Child of humanity, you didn't go to such lengths for an audience with Kefali.
Nope.
Just ask him a few questions, did you?
So, you figured it out. If I were as foolish as a Dromus, perhaps I'd throw myself down and prostrate before their greatness, begging for the gods' prophetic wisdom. Well,
Oh
sorry
my.
to disappoint, but I'm no Dromus. Alas, I am a human, standing tall on 2 feet. possessing both intellect and pride.
Before such power, does it make any difference whether you're a human or a Dromus?
I'm sure you're familiar with the story of the Styxians. When the raging waves threatened to swallow them, they didn't just give up and become sitting ducks. No. They constructed a dam that kept the roaring tide at bay, chaining down the mad Fagusa.
Wow, that's crazy.
They call me a blasphemer, Xerxes. But that doesn't mean I deny the existence of gods. It's just as I see it. Titans are simply a force that mankind has yet to find a way to tame.
Oh? If power that rivals the Titans is what you crave, why not conform to the prophecy and brave
Because that's
the
on
trial?
their terms, not his.
Why stop at harnessing the power of the Titans when I can do so much more? The source of life is what I wish to grasp, to understand what makes up the soul, and to learn what we really are. Thanks to you, I've had the chance to personally verify, in more ways than one, that the soul indeed ceases to exist in death. But where there is death, there is life. And where there is an end, there must also be a beginning. How then is a soul born? That was the only unknown variable left in my calculations.
And by the sound of it, you have already formed a conjecture.
No, I have already drawn a conclusion. In my journey unto death just now, I finally saw the answer with my own eyes.
Professor Anaxa, I'm here. His life hangs by a thread. I must ask you to refrain from taking any unnecessary
And that's why
steps.
she sided with him.
Of course.
Wow.
I'll bring this to a conclusive end and give you the answer you so desire.
Wow.
However,
crazy.
In accordance with the principle of equivalent exchange, I must also demand from you what I need.
Wow.
As you wish.
Don't you care to know what the price might be?
It's a matter of uncovering the truth about the Death Titan and his survival. This may be the only time I can ever save someone's life. There is no need for me to think twice.
I see. In that
Wow. Castrus, what a boss. Anax is just insatiable curiosity, so
To say that you intend to prove Thanatos' whereabouts
Yeah.
and prove the nature of our existence now?
Before I begin, I must confess I had been stuck in a cognitive trap all this time. As unrelated as these two propositions may seem at first glance, they are in fact logical equivalents.
Oh boy.
They are merely two different ways of telling us about what the soul is at its core. The reason I say this is as I've mentioned earlier. The answer was hidden in my journey unto death.
Anaxa, you were in the Netherrealm?
Yes, I am but a living dead man now. But that's not important. What truly matters is, I overheard a conversation between heroes. That's not all. Remember how I said you were a part of that conversation too, Xerxes?
And I've told you that I have no recollection of such an event. That was likely just an illusion conjured up by the mind of a dying man.
Of course you wouldn't remember, because that wasn't you. That was Calypso, one of the 7 sages of the Grove.
Calypso?
Huh? Oh, that's the name I made up on a whim when speaking to this girl. How do you know of it? And surely you jest. Don't you think I, of all people, would know if that were the name of one of the 7 sages under the shade of my tree? Don't you claim to know the Grove's past like the back of your hand?
It seems you've lost even the memories seared into your soul. Use your head, Xerxes. Since all of this took place in the realm of the dead, it stands to reason their likenesses are of souls from the past. The living cannot step foot into that world. So who could they be? Think about Calypso. Why does she share your likeness? Yet you have no idea who she is. The answer is evident, is it not? Those fallen heroes are the mortal incarnations of the Titans before their ascensions to godhood.
Of course.
The gods aren't master creators born out of thin air. And they are no different from humans, because they all evolved from one. Does this answer disappoint you?
Yes, because you've answered nothing. If I truly was once human, as you claim, then where do the children of humanity come from?
Even on the off chance that you speak the truth,
right?
This brings us no closer to grasping Thanatos' whereabouts. How are we to find them?
I knew you would say that, but it matters not. I know what I'm doing. Actually, why don't we have this supreme being standing before us tell us everything?
You can revive a Titan?
Humans cannot return from the dead. Neither can gods. But all we need to do is look at this from a different perspective, and the problem will resolve itself. The solution is simple. Just like what you did to me. If I'm reborn as Kefali, I can rebuild the world and all within it as they once did. Simple, is it not?
No, this is not the greatest situation.
I have news from Hyacinth and Danhung. Anaxa might be trying to do something with Kefali's divine body.
Kefali? But what could Anaxa want? Is the Council of Elders going to sit around and let such a sacrilegious act unfold?
That is not possible. He is indeed the great performer, capable of fooling anyone and everyone with his tricks.
I'm sorry.
No need for guilt, for this is good news to us. The Council of Elders has found themselves a traitorous ally. Anaxa's ambitious desires will be something we can exploit. What we should be doing now
my goodness,
is to keep our eyes peeled for whichever trickery Kindness is up to, and react accordingly to thwart her plans. Being Akima's political center, the Demigod Council holds just as much significance as the Vortex of Genesis. Someday, after my duty is over, this site will take the place of the battlefield where you hunt gods. Become the next challenge you ought to overcome. Till then, it's best to get used to this place as soon as possible.
You can find us anytime you need something.
Preposterous! The Christosairs only have their standing because of the Council of Elders. How dare they trample over it?
All these people are shooting daggers with their eyes.
It's been a while.
Ziggy! Hello, Oleg of Amphoreus, right?
What is that supposed to mean? Is this really the sort of person that the young lord praised as a ferocious warrior?
My goodness, Oleg.
It has indeed been some time, Lord Krateros. What brings you here in such haste?
Shh, keep it down. Be more vigilant. See those duplicitous dogs over there? They do the dirty work for Kindness. I've already ordered my people to hold them back, but we should still lay low. Unless you're itching for a bloody fight to get a workout in.
Yes, absolutely.
My bad. So, did something happen?
Did you hear thunderclaps last night?
It'd be hard to not notice the thunderclaps in broad daylight. It's Archeron! Oh my gosh.
Thunderclaps are beacon signals of strife. They are a message from the young lord. He threw a spear bearing several words at Akama.
Watch out. The Flame Reaver is back.
I guessed as much. We didn't actually kill them back at the Kremnos Arena.
I figured this is something you would want to know. We Kremnoans never back down from a fight. So if you plan to take that thing down in a battle, reach out to me anytime.
You have my gratitude. I will let Aglaya know about this right away.
Remind her to be on her toes while you're at it. That vicious kindness has been unusually active lately. Those lackeys she keeps under cover have been going in and out of the city a lot more frequently these days. Some even seem to be getting Kremnoans to defect to the council.
That's...
Looks like you can see it for yourself.
We should get back. Thank you for the intel, Lord Crateros.
Bye, Zagrati.
By Catherly into Lenten above, as the Theoros I have observed. Virtuous citizens of Akama, Finan Vides, Elysiae, and the Outlander are heading toward us.
Yes, I am walking right now. See what you have to say.
Aglaya, what happened here?
I know about the poisonous fangs of that king snake through the golden threads. In the past, I would be confident about keeping her in check, but I admit I am now unable to do so.
What do you mean?
It is no longer about eloquence or arguments. I have been a demigod for far too long that I hardly have any humanity left.
Oh my
Before
goodness.
I realized it, I have become no different from these hypocrites.
Oh my goodness.
No longer capable of relating to the people. This has come a lot sooner than I expected. But perhaps it is time. I need you to step up, Finan, in order for me to retreat behind the scenes.
Yes, this is my duty, but...
It is far easier for the Council of Elders to fool many than just fool one person. Their so-called more support is no more than a ruse to distribute power using words instead of lances. There is no glory in winning this debate. But that makes having respect for humans so much more priceless. Finan, you are a Chrysos heir without flaw.
No, he did have flaw.
Capable
He
of relating
failed last
deeply
time.
with humans.
I appreciate what you've taught me, Aglaya. I hope we'll live up to your expectations and win this debate.
Oh goodness.
Oh, you've done well, Lord Calictus. Let me take over and personally close this debate for today.
Debate mechanics.
Dearest counselors, let
my
it be known
goodness.
that I sorely miss the blissful times portrayed in lyrical poems. Back then, Amphoreus was home to nearly 1,000 cities, each with their own local faith, while gods walked the earth and shared close bonds with humans. Yet, in the present, people from all over are forced to leave their
Oh my
homeland
goodness.
to seek refuge in the holy city, where they hope to rest under Kethely's protection.
Oh my goodness. This
All
lady.
of us have long been
This
in the same
lady.
boat with no way out of this plight. We didn't have a choice in the past, but now
No, you didn't even
the
have like
Council
a
of
choice
Elders
now. You're
brings to
just
the
being
table
difficult.
a new possibility. All I have left is one question for you. Would you rather strive toward the unheard of Era Nova, or return to the prosperous Era Chrysia of our past? Make your choice. Now, which of the two would lead mortals to an ideal future?
Yeah, I said by Aranova, right? If it's possible. Right? Why would you do that? Aranova is the path of salvation that God's promised. You should have no doubts in the Flame Change journey.
We all know that Era Chrysia is a thing of the past, Lady Kindness. Please, enlighten me. How does the Council of Elders plan to turn back time?
Let the three Titans of Calamity be born, and Era Chrysia is nevermore. But bring demise to those Titans, and Era Chrysia will descend upon us again. Know that the Council of Elders is never one to make empty promises. Look at who we have on our side. Anaxagoras, one of the Grove's 7 sages. And Castorus, Idonia's goddess of death.
Here we go.
With the help of these 2 heroes, I can promise all of you that Erechrysia will exist once more.
Aren't they Chrysos heirs? They're supporting the Council of Elders instead?
It's clear from the start that these heroes do not get along well in their group. All the more proof that Aglaya isn't fit to speak on behalf of every Chrysos heir. I am in favor of Erechrysia.
Erechrysia! Erechrysia!
Castorus? Why are you standing over there?
You finally arrived, Anaxa. So have you, Cass.
Don't worry, Aglaya. Well, I know that you have many queries. Could you continue to converse like how the citizens normally do? Tell me, dear citizens, if we successfully retrieve and return Thanatos' core flame without anyone passing the Death Titan's trial, what would happen next?
The answer is simple. We will have a chance to rid the world of death and bring Amphoreus back to an era when all beings live forever. We'll usher in a new future that will be entirely different from the flame chase journey.
He's one of the 7 sages. It's impossible.
Yeah, but if you're old and you're like, if you have broken bones or you're ailing, does that cure any of that, or are you just perpetually stuck living in pain?
Your proposal is much too idealistic.
Right?
As long as the Black Tide still exists, how can we go back to the old days?
Remember what I previously said? Kefali's core flame is guarded by the secret power of the Council of Elders. Plus, Fakusa's water curtain will be able to block out any external perceptions. Tell me, dear citizens, have any of you ever seen even a glimpse of the threat that this person is talking about anywhere within the walls of this majestic holy city?
This is becomes the Flame Reaver's target sooner or later. Isn't this just survivor bias?
If we eliminate death, then there's no need for us to fear that Flame Reaver, right?
No?
Citizens, let's loudly sing the blessed hymn. Oh, beautiful old world, where are you now?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, legendary Erechrysia, return to the mortal realm.
After the destruction of the 3 Titans of Calamity, the flame chase journey will have to end.
Erechrysia! Yes!
This is bad. The masses are now totally riled up.
Anaxa, pray tell. Everything that you've mentioned hinges on the premise that we can find Thanatos' existence, right?
Thank you, Lady Aglaya, for still caring about this city. However, dear citizens, we are truly fortunate and blessed. For Castorus, Idonia's goddess of death, will surely find Thanatos under my guidance.
What? With that, I solemnly promise that the core flame Lady Castorus brings back will be personally managed by the Council of Elders.
Oh goodness.
Thereafter, if we are able to garner the support of all of you at the Citizens' Assembly, we shall spare no effort in ensuring that the Erechrysia will return to our world once again.
Can we get to the part where we beat something up?
With the balance shattered, the result is clear. By Kefali and Talent and above, as the Theoros I have observed, Akama has chosen her destiny. The issue up for discussion at this Citizens' Assembly shall be modified to the suspension of the Flame Chase journey. This resolution shall be put up on the Wall of Heroes, such that all citizens are aware of the city's way forward.
Aglaya, dear Aglaya. What has caused your heart to soften? You also don't seem to be as quick-witted as before.
No, she knows what she's doing.
Wag your tongue as much as you like. Since the flame chase journey has been preordained by the prophecy, our failure has never been on the cards.
Well then, I guess we'll find out if that's true at the Citizens' Assembly.
Oh boy.
Well, it seems that when I sent you to look for Anaxa, I unintentionally facilitated your partnership with him instead.
My apologies, everyone. I know that you have many questions to ask me.
Oh my goodness.
I will answer them to the best of my knowledge.
In that case, please tell us as much as you can.
What happened when you went to look for
In
Naxa?
actuality, he showed me a past that was both long and heavy.
The reason I say this is as I've mentioned earlier. The answer was hidden in my journey unto death.
Anaxa, you were in the Netherrealm?
Yes, I am but a living dead man now. But that's not important. What truly matters is, I overheard a conversation between heroes.
Oh my goodness! Why is this such a thing?
Have you heard of this tale before? A tale about the ocean god's treasured pearl. Our hometown. It was a seaside town which enjoyed the ocean breeze and glorious, peaceful times, thanks to the wisdom of its ruling queen. Until one day, an evil dragon
This is the
descended
book
upon
that
the
she was
town.
given.
Its wings were large enough to
Yep.
blot out the sun, while its claws were sharp enough to rip the waves apart. It barged into the tall tower and devoured the queen's beloved daughter. It even settled itself in her bedroom, like a tyrant king. The queen assembled 300 warriors who managed to subdue the evil dragon by chaining it up. However, when the queen slit open the dragon's belly, she realized that the princess had long since been digested, and all that was left of her was a pile of bones. Devastated, the queen wept for several days. It was then that a devious, smooth-talking scholar arrived at the
Anaxa.
palace and suggested that the princess
Not
could be
literally,
revived
but
through the use
alchemy.
of dragon bone and dragon blood.
Oh
Called this process
goodness.
the secret art of alchemy. The princess was reborn. The queen was overjoyed, blissfully unaware that the evil dragon's soul still lurked within the princess's body. As revenge, the evil dragon swallowed the poor queen, the glib liar, the courageous warriors, and all of the town's innocent civilians in a single gulp.
Is that Cassius?
Worse still, the souls of the deceased refused entry to the Netherrealm because they were filled with regret. Forced to roam the mortal realm, these resentful souls ultimately converged into a river of souls that would not retreat
Which is
for
the
a
Black
long
Tide.
time. The terrifying death had consumed all. Thereafter, our hometown fell into ruin as well. Until...
Until?
Actually, I don't know what happened next either.
Oh my. It seems that you still like to whet people's appetites even after all this time, Pelixia. So, according to your story, this is how I used to look? It's practically a mirror image. And yet, what exactly is this?
A miracle that I created with alchemy. As for what it is and how I was able to accomplish it, I'll keep the answers to myself for now.
Oh, my goodness. Is this cliffhanger really necessary?
Right?
Quiet, Titan. Continue to enjoy this splendid
Oh
play,
goodness.
and the truth will naturally reveal itself.
This is so crazy. And
Dragon,
unnecessary, I feel like.
I've heard this legend before.
So have I.
In that case, what do you think of it?
I think that this so-called alchemy was a tenuous analogy added to the story by future generations. After all, you've never heard of a tradition of alchemy in your hometown before, have you?
Indeed. Before I left home to pursue my education, I never even knew that anybody was looking into this area of study.
Therefore, we can just treat this tale as a fable
What?
told to young children.
No, why would she do that? The whole point of her is to like...
A fable, you say?
Yeah, right?
If so, what moral is it trying to impart to the kids?
I guess it might be the concept of equivalent exchange.
Oh? I thought the moral might be closer to something like honor the dead. What? At a loss for words?
No, I merely realized that we're both thinking of the same principle. If life is priceless, then there is hardly anything else in this world that is of equal weight to it, right?
Indeed. As expected of the wisest scholar in the land.
You flatter me. Why don't I ask you a question as well, as a form of equivalent exchange?
Of course. What is your question?
If I imparted my knowledge of the art of alchemy to you, would you use it to resurrect
Oh boy.
What? What kind of strange question is this? I got it. You're just trying to get me to tell you whether I like anyone, right?
Let's just leave it at that. That was rude of me.
Yes, I would.
Oh?
Death is inevitable. In the days to come, I'm certain that someone whom I cherish deeply will leave me for good if such a mighty power really existed. I think I would use it without hesitation. After all, you, me, and the rest will all have to face that fateful moment eventually. My time is finally here. However,
Here we go, I knew it!
because of
What?
my firm belief in the
Oh my
immeasurable
gosh.
value of life, I am unable to complete the trial.
You shall wither, and through that, the dead will sprout again from the remains, and be reborn with the dead flame. It is a pity that fate is such a cruel mistress.
Is there no other way of interpreting those words?
I'm afraid that the meaning is clear. Between my sister and me,
Yep, I knew it.
one must pay the price. Our trial can only be completed when the one chosen sacrifices her life. I'm afraid that the prophecy might even have selected a pair of twins. for this
I knew it.
exact Purpose.
Fortune makes fools of us all.
My sister is prepared to sacrifice herself. And yet, I can't do the same. How absurd. My time is almost up, but I'm still afraid to welcome death. What should we do? If I'm ultimately not able to make up my mind...
Since Chaos is willing to guide all of us and leave this trial to the end, there is still plenty of time for you to ponder.
That's right. Don't allow the fog of an uncertain future to cloud your mind.
Trial, prophecy, the topics that they're discussing seem familiar. But these three people must not have left their names in the epics. Otherwise, I would have some recollection of this.
Amphoreus' history before the Titans
Right.
were born was complete chaos. Is that not strange by itself? I have long held three hypotheses about this. However, let's continue watching for now.
Calypso, Polixia, and this warrior. I seem to have met him somewhere before.
How do you not remember Nias?
This matter.
Oh my gosh.
Nias, are you confident that you'll complete your trial?
Of course. Though, I am worried about what will happen once I've emerged victorious.
Looks like you have made up your mind.
Yes, this is the safest course of action.
Completely separating courage, honor, tenacity, sacrifice, and reason. You really know how to make things difficult.
Please, young lady, witness my fall and demise. Lady Calypso, you shall host the soul-rending ceremony.
Goodness.
I do not understand. Why would you dare to sacrifice yourself for a future that you won't get to witness?
Because this is our destiny. The power that resides within me is so intense that I will one day be engulfed by it. Furthermore, a valorous death before glorious return has always been the path I chose to walk. A journey I began long ago. If your sister or Chaos were in my position, I believe they would make the same choice as well.
I'm not that brave. I don't know how I'm supposed to face such a serious affair.
Despite being Death's chosen one, it seems you still don't know how to face it. Let's chat, young lady. Perhaps I shouldn't end my journey so hastily. Since there's still time, I'm not worried about letting fate wait a little longer.
Of course. This
Oh yes, yes.
Lord Nias.
Of course, Casters.
As the embodiment of Nikador's divinity, he entrusted his life to us and allowed humankind to end his madness. That means that what I'm currently seeing before my eyes is in fact...
Looks like one hypothesis of mine has already been proven true. These heroes are the true forms of the Titans, before they attain their divinity. If so, the chosen one of death that he speaks of is actually...
Polixia? Is the previous form of Thanatos? But her appearance...
If this is true, as long as we can find out where she went, we'll naturally be able to figure out the location of the Death Titan.
But before that, we first need to witness what ultimately happened to Lord Nias.
Oh, great.
Nikador's courage is a testament that they have never once retreated from a battle.
I've heard that these words are still engraved in Castrum Kremnos even today. It didn't occur to me that they were actually part of an alchemical formula. Sealed within this statue is undoubtedly his sacrifice.
They use their own body as our city walls, keeping out and protecting us from the pervasive spread of madness. They are acutely aware that if the end times were to arrive, there would be nothing left in this world to conquer.
I believe that his tenacity is sealed within this statue.
Before we fought Nikador, we also released it from the stone statue. Lord Nias' honor is sealed here.
Incredible. The honor in this child's soul is so light. Honor, courage, tenacity, sacrifice.
And finally, the only thing that remains is reason.
Cheer up, young lady. There is no need to shed tears over a glorious death.
All farewells in this world are sorrowful, Lord Naius.
No, young lady. As a warrior, I have witnessed too many bitter deaths. But now, all I feel is peace. I did not know until this moment that mortals could live their lives in such a way.
Although only a sliver of your soul remains, you remain so optimistic. Or maybe the truth is that you aren't able to feel sorrow anymore.
To be honest, I don't know either. But I am certain of one thing.
Boy.
This is not an acceptance of death nor apathy toward it. It's not even a feeling of despair. I am just enjoying what remains of my life to the fullest.
Enjoying?
Indeed. Along this journey that we've taken together, not only have I changed the world, I myself have also changed in the process. And now I have reached the journey's end. When I look back and see the grand epic that I've personally written, how could I not revel in that fact?
But when you depart the mortal realm, won't all of your accomplishments be reduced to nothing? Separation and death are two sides of the same coin. Reconciling this doesn't come easily for a mortal.
Finally, let me recount to you a story of mine, young lady. The first time I returned from the battlefield, I felt extremely hollow. The calamity had devoured everybody on the battlefield but me. When I returned to the city alone, the citizens held a banquet for me that was far from pleasant. I felt as though I was still on the battlefield, and the person who had returned was nothing but an empty shell. It was late into the night by the time the banquet ended. My head still reeling, I returned alone to the barracks. On the way back, I encountered someone. It was a crazed scholar looking at the night sky and muttering to himself by the side of the road. Although I tripped over him and fell, I wasn't angry in the slightest. And maybe because I saw myself in him, I inexplicably asked him a question. Do you think that it'd be better if we just died on the roadside like a couple of stray dogs? To my surprise, he shrugged his shoulders and sighed.
To someone who is currently experiencing death, dying and living afford the same amount of bliss. Now please go away and don't block my starlight.
Are you trying to say that there is no difference between living and dying? For they are both journeys that lead toward death?
That's exactly what life is. And death is but a scale to measure how valuable the journey was. Journeys and epics are only glorious and magnificent because all things eventually fade to dust.
Which is what he said to us last time.
Therefore, young lady, don't detest your fate. Instead, willingly and respectfully embrace it.
The embodiment of strife, telling me about the majesty of the world.
Indeed. I believe that when the fated moment eventually arrives, you will be able to understand my words. It is time for me to knock on death's door. I will set up a long table at the end of the road and humbly await your arrival. When that moment finally comes, let us drink and be merry then.
I knew this day would eventually come.
Are the both of you ready?
Mm-hmm. Elixia.
I knew it. See?
What? This...
This is quite interesting indeed.
Is this... Elixia's sister? Is it... Me? Now, it's time for us to fulfill our promises. Are you afraid? What are you afraid of?
That I won't be able to do it.
You shall wither, and through that, the dead will sprout again from the remains, and be reborn with the dead flame. As foretold in the prophecy, and according to our vows, once it all ends, we must face our fated moment head-on.
Even if it was prophesized, do we have no say in the matter? It's so unfair. Why are we the only ones who are forced into mutual destruction? Let me do it, sister. Let me be death sacrifice. I was never long for this world anyway. But you're different. I was the one who wasted your life after all.
You're wrong, Polixia. I don't think that my life was wasted. Just the opposite. When I finally arrived at this destination and looked back at the journey I took, I discovered that flowers had long since bloomed along the path I walked. It was you who sowed the seeds for this sea of flowers, one that is more beautiful than the promised land at the end of the world. Besides, I have lived a fulfilling life. Even though I was fated for sacrifice, none of the things that I've experienced will dissipate. Instead, they'll forever live on as memories inside your head. Will they not?
How could my memories of you
Oh boy.
compare to the actual...
Oh my gosh, depression. These games, I always remember Honkai is so depressing.
Tell me, what exactly are we?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But regardless of what the answer is, regardless of how we're shaped by others, or even by this world, ever since we were born, the fact that we existed was predestined, and nothing could erase it. This is why I will always, always be by your side. We're twins, after all. All right, my dear Polixia. It's time to extract my heart and light the flame of death. After that, use it to plant the first bud in the prophesied new world.
If I imparted my knowledge of the art of alchemy, would you use it to resurrect someone you loved?
Death is inevitable. In the days to come, I am certain that someone whom I cherish deeply will leave me for good. If such a mighty power really existed, I think I would use it without hesitation. Even now, my answer remains the same. This is why, sister, I promise you, in the prophesied new world, I shall plant the first bud on your behalf. Go now. Return to the ocean god's treasured pearl, our hometown. I shall open wide the entrance to the Netherrealm and grant you a second life. The living beings on this earth shall respond to my call and lead you to the sacred daylight. Remember, do not look back on the land of the dead, and do not stop moving. In the new world promised by the prophecy, march toward your new life. As for the price of our equivalent exchange, let me
be the one to pay it.
Everybody, we've come to the end. Unfortunately, I am not compatible with the Supreme Being, so I was unable to completely fuse their soul into my own body. However, being able to glean all this from them is exciting enough. I'm certain of this now. Before the Titans that we are well acquainted with were born, a group of heroes roamed the land. These heroes followed a prophecy and took possession of divine authorities one by one, until they eventually became the pantheon of the new world, just like the flame chase journey of today. Amphoreus' history is cyclical in nature.
Huh. What a startling revelation. This means that the demigods, who bear the core flames, will also
I thought we knew
become
this
the
though.
new
This is
Titans
what
of
I
the
don't
world's
understand.
end,
Like, I thought honestly we knew this.
thereby shaping a new world?
I believe that this is the truth behind the Era Nova, as mentioned in the prophecy.
This is utterly unbelievable. Besides, those twins in the past, even if they really are Thanatos, their whereabouts are still unknown even today.
Are their whereabouts truly unknown? Didn't Polixia mention that seaside town? The birthplace of alchemy in the tale of the dragon. In our world, there exists a city which perfectly matches that description. Styxia.
But the people there worship Fagusa and bear no relation to Thanatos. I have also never been to that place, as in the time of Idonia, it had long turned into underwater ruins.
Take this.
This is...
the new Sporist masterpiece, the Philosopher's Stone. It was made by transmuting all of the sages' wisdom into a single entity, with their flesh and blood as its foundation. Remember? I've mentioned before that the art of alchemy is all about conversion, tempering, and ascension. This process also applies to the pursuit of truth. Think about the story of the dragon. This stone will lead you to your real hometown, allowing you to reform the door to the Netherrealm and discover Thanatos' fate.
You still look as confident in your victory as ever. But what if your conjecture is wrong?
Simple. I shall merely admit to the entire world that my experiment was a failure. However, my line of thinking will not fail, because I have already planted the seeds of doubt.
I mean, I like the
hearts of
progression of the story, but my only problem with it is it's been there, done that
speak
in
louder
narratives
than
and other
words,
games.
Gasteris.
This time it's not as
With
unique
the
as
assembly
Penacony.
about to begin,
Penacony is pretty wild.
don't forget the promise you've made.
I've already searched for so long. I'm willing to try one more time. While we converse, his life is also slowly slipping away. But before I leave, I have another question. What exactly did we witness just now?
That was the world imprinted in Kefali's soul. If we are to prove its existence, you must take the final step. Go. Do not disappoint me.
I understand.
Hey, child of humanity.
Oh my gosh. I know it's a lot of dialogue. I know.
Question you posed to me.
I know. I agree. No, I agree. And like the details are what make the story a bit more interesting for me. But none of them have been like, yeah, they've done it, but they've done it in their own way. So in historically, like in real life, there are 7 ways that they say that you can tell a story. Only in those 7 specific ways, and that nothing deviates out of the 7 ways that you can tell a story in any narrative, like throughout all of human history. So a lot of stories, the details will be different, but the way that you tell them is similar. I wouldn't say they're genres, but you should look it up. It's really interesting as far as a read about the 7 different ways you can tell a story. But These are sort of long-winded they're sort of long-winded. Like, I really wish we would have gotten through it by now. Like, I feel like we didn't need all this back talk, you know what I mean? In a way, yeah, maybe there are the 7 different plots. I can look it up really quick just to talk about it. I don't know if it's these. Overcoming the monster X reaches the quest, voyage and return, rebirth, comedy and tragedy. Probably. Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. That's exactly. There's like a lot of the narrative is just like, I don't want to say preaching, but like it's like monologuing all these things. Like you get to the point a lot faster, which is a problem with Mihoyo games. But Penacony hit right. Like the last arc before Amphoreus was really, really good. The one with Robin and her brother, because I feel like for both of them as siblings, there wasn't a point where like I was like, oh my gosh, shut up, like stop talking about it. There were a couple of parts like the background of Penacony was a little bit like I didn't need to know that, but everything afterwards just was so worth it. Especially the climax of that planet. But I feel like this is too much world building. They're putting too much of it. There's too much of it is there's a focus being put too much on too much of it.
As a scholar, I do not wish to offer up ambiguous conclusions. Let's discuss this topic again when she manages to find the evidence.
How about not?
I merely wanted to ask, was that stone transmuted from your heart? If so, rebirth is no longer an option for you.
Why not? When I was a child, I lost someone dear to me. When I was a teenager, I lost my faith. A while back, although you saved my life, I also lost my soul in the process. Now I'm merely forsaking my body.
Jeez.
What's the big deal?
Why are you always finding ways to die?
This guy.
Isn't it good to be alive?
This is but a necessary sacrifice on my path to transform into the purest of them all.
Can someone who's dead even claim to be the purest of them all? Furthermore, if your hypothesis is proven correct, does it not just confirm that the myths are true, and thereby invalidate all your theories?
No, it's just the opposite. If my hypothesis is correct, it means that I can actually ascend to godhood and reshape this absurd world that you all have created.
Oh my gosh. Currently I'm pulling my hair out.
A lot to take in at once.
Lady Aglaya, please, let me explain.
No, you've already explained enough, casters.
You know that the core
Oh
flame
my
of
gosh.
death has always been the greatest unknown.
I think we've done
regarding
enough
Era Nova,
exposition, thank you.
which is why both you and Kindness desire to gain the power to control that core flame in the approaching Citizens' Assembly. Professor Anaxa
Oh my
has
goodness.
come to a consensus with Kindness. They want to suspend the trial once Thanatos' core flame is reclaimed, hoping thus to eradicate death from this world. If they're successful, then the flame chase journey will cease, and Akama can enjoy everlasting peace. But I know this runs counter to your wishes. So long as we do not usher in Era Nova, the Black Tide will never be eradicated. Even with Lord Mighty on the front line, and the Black Tide not posing an immediate risk, the danger nevertheless remains. Honestly, It's difficult for me to assess the pros and cons in this decision. But someone must bring the core flame before we can begin negotiations over it. The Titan could be very near. I cannot let this chance slip by. Besides, someone has to make this trip to bring back Mr. Soul.
Well said. You already had every reason to seek an audience with Thanatos. It's that great performer who has weaponized your wishes and placed us in this difficult situation. A world without death. Do you desire that too?
If fate dictates that my path must oppose yours, I will do all I can to resist it and protect what I aspire to achieve. Lord Mighty showed me that without taking the first step, all talk of what follows is moot.
Facts. Has to see change.
I have always hoped to hear you speak your mind, Cass. And I am glad to have heard your true thoughts, Styxia. I visited that place in the past. Though it is now an island surrounded by the river of Soul's torrents, it's not hard to see its former splendor. Go. I will not stand in your way. As for you, you are someone who has cheated death.
Oh my gosh.
I believe you have more than enough reason to make the trip with Castrus and meet the god of death himself. Castrus, I too look forward to your journey. I wonder what kinds of new interpretations your completed story will bring to the Flame Chase journey.
Thank you, Lady Aklaya.
I hate to put a damper on this heartwarming moment, but if Styxia is now an island surrounded by the river of Soul's torrents, then how do we find a way in? Lady Trebe is probably...
The answer is quite simple. In the myths, Zagreus once made the domain of the dead their treasure vault. That is to say, they could enter and leave the nether realm as they pleased. And if they could do that, then it follows that the demigod who inherited their divinity must be capable of the same. I'll see you at Memorial Palace at Action Hour tomorrow. Cypher shall be your guide to finding that ancient city.
Ugh.
Hey, friend! Is the debate finally over? Did you win?
Debatable about whether I won or not. We managed to win ourselves a glorious defeat.
Won a glorious defeat? You sure know how to look on the bright side.
Says the talking Muppet.
Well, moving on. I was hard at work even while you were at the debate. I borrowed a mountain of books from Cass to see if I could find a way to solve your problem. Let's see. I still have...
It's the patch right before 3.3. It's 3.2, I believe. I think we have a dungeon. I think we have the dungeon of the underwater dungeon. And then I think we're caught up. Because this is like the patch right before the newest one. Which drops on... 3.3 drops soon in like a week. So I tried to put it off. I put it off for like a month. 45 days or something. HSR 3.2, I believe. Because I think 3.1 was, yeah, this is 3.2. Okay, yeah. Them's the breaks, kid. 3.2.
Only 32 books to go.
32, 3.2, get it. Okay, ma'am, we've found our way.
Really? Oh, that's fantastic news. I knew it. Hard work always pays off. Especially if you're as diligent as ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, sure.
I feel like a huge burden has finally been lifted off my shoulders. Why are my eyelids so heavy?
It's called fatigue or maybe exhaustion. Let's get some rest.
You're right. Then I'll go back to...
As was their custom, Mem, with astonishing dexterity, slipped back into their secret little hideaway? Good night, Mem. Good night, Akama. It is nighttime, right? Sometime later in Akama.
Cass? What a surprise.
Lady Treeby.
Is something troubling you?
I just wanted to speak to Lady Trian for a bit before I set off. No matter how breathtakingly beautiful Styxia once was, the place is now the domain of the departed. There is no telling what we'll encounter there. I don't want to have any regrets.
Has anyone told you that your eyes are sparkling today?
Is that a figure of speech?
In the past, when you did smile once in a while, all of us could see that your heart remained troubled even as you smiled.
Lady Treeby, you know perfectly well that see you tomorrow is nothing but a white lie. I hope your toughness is not a mask hiding a lonely heart.
Cass, you hardly ever talked of your past. None of us knows what you went through, apart from Maggie. But we know it must have been filled with pain and hardships, as it is the fate every Chrysosaur is destined to live out. We are just happy for you, that the core flame you're meant to inherit has finally surfaced.
Isn't it a little too soon to say that?
But you already know where tomorrow is, don't you? There's no need to rely on anyone else.
Aww.
Just give it your all and leave no regrets. We have always believed that your embrace is just as warm as everyone else's, because we embrace others to comfort them. And Cass, you're the kindest Chrysosaur we know.
Thank you, Lady Treeby. This feeling... it's hard to put into words. I suddenly found myself with so many wishes. So much I want to accomplish before setting off.
Then go do it, Cass. Trian was actually working on a surprise gift for you. It's a pity she didn't get to finish it. But now Trinan and I are working on it, and we'll make sure to give it to you. So, let's meet back here when you return from Styxia. Safe travels. See you tomorrow.
Dang, they just death flagged. They just death flagged her.
It's me.
I hope I didn't wake you.
Sleep is a luxury when you're at my age.
I'm glad to see you're as full of life as ever. I'm here because of private matters, actually. If it isn't too much to ask, I'd really like it if you could come along with me to retrieve something.
Sure, let's go. As expected, manual labor. Wow, I feel so sleepy all of a sudden.
Aren't you going to ask me what it is? It isn't a long way from here. Shall we?
I'd love to go in. Have you heard? Seems like all the...
The streets are packed. It seems the vote to pause the flame chase journey has begun.
I want to vote! Tell me how I can vote!
Take your ceramic shard engraved with the Kephili rune, select the Council of Elders in your heart, and pray silently until the shard registers your choice. Then toss it into the Dolium.
The Council of Elders? More like the Council of Buffoons? The Black Tide took my hometown long ago! Who are they kidding with bringing back Eracrysia? It's all a sham to create their own Eracrysia in Akama!
The Titans are just. So long as we do not overstep our bounds again, we will not incur divine wrath.
Oh, please. The time when these deranged Titans should have vacated their spot to the demigods is long overdue. You'll see soon enough, you old bogey.
Dang, you don't say that to... Wow.
And I pray that Talantan smacks some sense into you with their scales. We shall see how this turns out.
That was quite a spectacle.
Another peaceful day in Akama.
I suppose peaceful is technically correct if no actual violence happened. To this day, I still find it almost unreal that Akama is the only place illuminated by light amidst the crumbling ruins of Amphoreus. And its people are even holding votes to reconcile differing opinions. This peaceful sight is making me forget that this is the end times.
This is what the Flame Chase journey is all about.
Before coming here, I had lived for many years in Idonia, a city of rime and frost. The people there were devotees of Thanatos, and were well known for their unique burial rites and traditions. Traditions that I played a major role in.
Because of the curse on you?
Yes. You now know me as the Mortician of Akama, but back in those days, I was Idonia's Maiden of War. I was trudging across the frosty plains on my own when the Idonians found me. They saw the curse in me as a blessing from Thanatos, and believed that my hands could correct the Eracrysia's mistake and lead them to meet the great god of death. They provided me shelter, but in return, I was expected to grant merciful deaths to war captives, prisoners bound for execution, and heroes alike.
Is that sort of end-of-life care?
Is that how you see it too? But no matter how kind or cruel the means, nothing can change the essence of death. Taking away someone's life is never worthy of religious worship. I can't do it. Their voices, they pierce
Oh my goodness,
ears.
the trauma.
The pleading. Thanks.
Ah, I know that feeling, child. I was once as lost as you are now. But you must respect those walking towards death. Just like how you should respect yourself as the Holy Maiden granting humans glory and liberation.
What you're asking me to do is no better than the task of an executioner. And yet you want me to respect myself. No matter the titles, I am still taking away human lives.
I have a feeling that that's like the whole premise of this patch. I have good news and I have bad news. Good news is this is the last patch before I'm caught up. Yeah, sure. The bad news is it's a lot, I bet, right? It's so much, it's gonna be so much content that we're gonna have to put off tomorrow's plans, right? I feel like these patches are getting longer, not shorter. The bad news is you're halfway through this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wow. Why are their patches so long? Yeah, you're predictable. It's alright. This is Mihoyo predictable. Okay, I guess that means tomorrow is also Honkai Star Rail Day. Sorry, unfortunately, but I haven't leveled up in Xenoblade, so I guess yeah. I'm sorry. Let's get through this portion and then we'll stop for today. But it has to be done. This has to be done. Has to be done. Okay, let's continue.
This won't be the first time that Edonia's fanatical nether warriors have faced death. On the contrary, recruits new to the battlefield often run away from their first fight. Death is the mightiest and gravest power in this world.
That's such a twisted reason.
Then let me tell you a story.
No,
in
I don't want to.
Idonia, the great swords commonly used by executioners are called Draconian, in memory of Drakon, an elderly executioner. The sword has 3 air holes along its body. If the sword is swung down swiftly and accurately, the holes would make no sound, and the executed would also depart this world quickly and painlessly. But should the executioner have any hesitation, the holes would produce a piercing whistle. On that cue, the screams of the executed are sure to follow. Every executioner after Drakon is to hone their sword skills every day in preparation of future executions. Pain for the dying, as well as pain for themselves.
No. I can never get used to this.
You misunderstand, child. I am not telling you to get used to it. I'm asking you to consider the source of the dead's suffering and use that knowledge to fortify your future touches with more and more determination. Go, walk with the dead and love them as you love life. Then you'll no longer hear those noises.
Please, don't kill me. I don't want to die. No!
May you gain some insights through his sacrifice.
Is this all?
No. Come with me.
Oh goodness.
This is just the beginning.
Beginning?
Of your life as the Maiden of War.
You executioner!
Ah! Why? Whoa! Crazy.
Holy maiden.
Go. Grant her glorious death.
Thank you.
Do it then, executioner.
You heard him. curse you to live in eternal pain.
Repay.
Yeesh.
May death protect us!
Receive divinity.
I shall remember this.
Eternal step. Dead return!
I heard the corn. I doubt farewell.
Life is not so fragile. Wilt here.
Bloom.
Let's resonate all together.
This trial is fitting.
I'll see you off.
Seek and you shall receive. Serenity is before me.
Receive divinity.
I can't. Thank you.
Eternal step. Dead return!
In this mortal form, watch over you and guide you on your path.
As you wish.
Bloom.
Thank you. My throat is feeling
Embrace
much
that
better.
new life.
Please.
When will this ever end?
Exactly. Exactly. When will this ever end? I understand. And agree.
Come.
What are you trying to do with me?
I have aged. The time has come for me to heed the summons of Thanatos and journey to their domain, the final resting place of every Idonian.
You're not that old yet. You still have many, many years ahead of you.
No. I'm already dead, for I have come to fear my declining health and impending death. Castorus, will you give me one last chance to charge towards fear and prove
Yeah, this is a
that
little
I
creepy.
am no coward?
I can't take
She
this
should just
anymore.
like book it and be like, bye. That's what I'd be like.
It was I who brought you here.
No,
from the
oh,
frosty
dang.
plains
Emotional
and set
manipulation.
your
The
farcical
guilt
fate
trip.
in motion. It was also I, Chief Executioner of Idonia, who forced the heavy duty of executing others.
I feel like this is such a
onto
like
you.
scapegoat thing. Like,
I've always known that you have doubts.
oh my
And even
goodness.
anger about my faith. And about me.
I never had a choice.
Indeed. We essentially abducted you. Yet you can end any sinful life with just a touch of your fingers. Shouldn't it be easy for you to escape from here?
I'll never do that. It doesn't matter how lightly the Idonians take death, or how readily they accept it. I simply can't do it.
I knew I was right about you.
What do you mean?
I've taught you and cared for you as my own daughter all this time because of this blessing that's been with you since your birth. I know no one else in the world would understand the weight of life and death more than you do. In the eyes of an Idonian, death is the end of all life. A destination we will all eventually reach. Humans should not resist it, but learn how to face it. You can only live your life to the fullest after understanding this principle. And when you do, even if you eventually leave Idonia's protection, even if you must carry the curse forever, you can live with your head held high, like everyone else.
No. How can I?
Come now. It's time. Show me that you are a fitting holy maiden. Come now. It's time. I've already taught you all that I know. Show me that you are a fitting holy maiden.
Receive divinity.
May death protect us!
I underestimated you. Bloom. I can't thank you enough. Repay.
Root here.
We'll overcome the thorns. Serenity is before me.
Please.
May it all together.
Eternal step. Dead return!
Stars echo.
Let's jam, Castrus. Castrus gotta kill.
Heard the call.
She's gonna kill everything with her side. She's gonna kill all of you with her big old side. Oh no! That's a crazy picture, but also not the vibe that I was going into.
The last time I followed her command. I gently touched the elderly woman before me. The executioner, who had seen too much death, died the same way as everyone else. A gasp for air, a wistful look in her eyes, and a barely perceptible tremor in her fingertips. Elder Amunet, the person who tried to teach me about death, ultimately vanished like dew in the morning mist. She spent her life embodying the beliefs of the Idonians, and when death finally came, she embraced it exactly as their doctrine had taught. I have nothing but respect for her. I erected a cenotaph in her honor in the marshes outside Idonia's city walls with the others I had laid to rest. Then, I set out once more in search of Thanatos. It was a long, long journey. I heard so many discussions about death along the way. Life finds meaning in death. The world improves because there is an end. It seems the most terrible darkness in this world. Everyone talks about its heavy weight. Some resist it, some worship it, and some even revere it. How did a disappeared titan become the deepest fear of humankind? And why do they haunt my dreams? I continued my travels to seek an answer. Initially, I was running away. Then, I started searching for it. And now, at the end, I just want to know if my touch, if my embrace, can do more than taking things away. Can I make anything? Can I leave anything behind?
And there we go, the part that's interesting.
Please, I beg you, just let me go. I don't want to die, please. I don't want mercy like this. Just let me go. I need him. I don't.
I hate these icy hands.
The Reaper has blessed your hands. Only you can grant them peace. Embrace death. Walk alongside it.
So dramatic. I love that they put this animated cutscene in. Because people are always like, Honkai Star Rail should make an anime. And like here they are, this is their first animated cutscene in game, I believe. Like anime style. Usually they're 3D or CG. It looks so good too.
Is that you, Gasterus? All of them have gone, heeding death's summon, crossing into their domain. I must go too. I don't fear it, just I have some regrets. Watching people leave this world again and again, it must be lonely for you. You must want to desperately embrace them before they go.
I can't. These hands, they're too cold.
But Big Sister Gasterus, your hands are so warm. Just like anyone else's. So go on, don't hold back.
Give me a warm hug.
On the day that Oryx's trial ended, you must have had many questions. I felt just as confused. Why, as someone from beyond the sky, were you so cruelly dragged into Amphoreus' fate? I wished I could take action, but no matter how hard I try, I cannot simply interact with the living as ordinary people do, even when we brushed against each other unintentionally in the grove. And it was obvious that nothing had happened, when an almost unattainable hope finally welled up in my heart. When I thought that perhaps my touch would no longer bring sorrow, fate declared to me, it wasn't that the curse of death had finally been lifted, but that your soul no longer belonged to this world. And there was nothing left for my hands to take. Nothing. And did I really think this time would be any different? It's not that I don't understand this reality, just that I'm unwilling to accept it. Having walked such a long road, I am still unable to find the answer to life and death. I am resigned to eternal despair. Anything I wish to hold on to, death will inevitably wrest from my grasp. From that moment on, I lacked the courage to confirm it again. Until Oryx laid bare the cruel truth before us. But now, perhaps I might have one last chance. Long ago, Trinan read a prophecy to me. At the end of the Sea of Flowers, the souls of the living shall warm thy fingertips, and after an embrace, there shall be eternal separation. I found no surprise in it, for her words sounded not like a foretelling, but a perfect reflection of my past. Embraces in this world are born of reunions, yet my touch speaks only of farewells. In that moment, I had no doubt that this destiny would weave itself through the entirety of my life. And yet, things have taken a turn for the better. Now that I can finally have an audience with Thanatos.
I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like they're setting me up to be damaged even worse than I already am.
Prophecy. I have no reason not to give it my all, for your sake and for my own.
Thank you for telling me your thoughts.
With that, I won't have any regrets. Let's put that aside for the moment. We've arrived. I want to retrieve a small gift I specially prepared for you. I made it myself, like the trinket I gave Lady Trian. I want to leave something for everyone, if possible. The journey to seek an audience with the Death Titan cannot be an easy one. I want to make full use of every moment I have before we depart, so that I don't have any regrets.
That sounds kind of ominous.
Then, perhaps you can have a look at it first. You don't have to take it if you don't like it.
What?
Look, it's right there. Huh? Where did it go? What's going on?
Did you get in trouble with some phantom thieves?
I am not some corrupt grown-up.
I never saw it coming.
What's this?
Oh.
The coin of Zagreus and a slate. So it's her.
Holy moly, a kitty thief?
No doubt about it. This is her favorite symbol. It's a lady's cipher, the demigod of Zagreus whom Lady Aglaia had spoken of. She's a master thief, who's left legendary tales all over Amphoreus.
Tails, get it?
So many years have passed, yet she's still announcing herself in such a crass manner. Let's just do as the slate says and look for Lady Cypher.
Wah wah. Oh my goodness. No, we're looking for Lady Cypher tomorrow.
Look, it's right there. We must pursue her.